Today on Missing Number, a player who captured one of the most mysterious, creepiest ghost footage in GTA 5, how the creator of an obscure lost media game unexpectedly found it 20 years later, and the It Easter eggs hiding in various games. Missing Number starts now. 10 years ago, someone uploaded footage of GTA 5 that was so haunting and mystifying, it was unlike any other video I saw from the game. In fact, it didn't even look like GTA 5 at first, at least to me. Even though I spent hours exploring the game's world, I didn't recognize where the player was. Contributing to the confusion was the player being in first-person mode, which came out after I stopped playing GTA 5, the night vision, which I rarely used, and the eerie music. The footage in question was from GTA Online and was uploaded around April 2015, back when GTA Online was more primitive. Notably, the video was uploaded directly from an Xbox One and not a PC. Here's the unaltered video. Even to this day, the footage is spooky, but was that really a ghost that caught on fire? Ghost hunters tried finding the ghost for themselves, but were unsuccessful. Perhaps the ghost only appeared at a certain time and day, just like with the UFO of Mount Chiliad. The place the player was in was a mineshaft located in the Great Chaparral, which is a hilly, grassy area located between the city and desert. The tunnel was initially inaccessible in the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of GTA 5. However, those that upgraded to the next-gen versions of the game could enter the tunnel on the PS4 and Xbox One. The mineshaft is long and dark, and has branching paths that all lead to dead ends. Sometimes it looks like a dark figure is watching you in the distance, but when you take a closer look, it's just tubes hanging on a wall. However, there have been weird sightings of visual glitches and thermal heat signatures. Strange noises, footsteps, and even screams have also been heard. One player even spontaneously combusted for no apparent reason.
How are you on fire?
What's more, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor will refuse to enter the mineshaft. You can force them inside using cheats, but when one player did this, Franklin screamed and disappeared. What the hell? Naturally, players believed that the place was haunted. Lending credence to this was how an actual dead body could be found in the mineshaft. It was part of a murder mystery side quest that was exclusive to last-gen GTA 5 players who upgraded to the next-gen version of the game. This person was an actor named Isaac, who in the 1940s produced a movie for a film studio called Fred's Pictures. The studio's owner, Fred Quincy, was displeased with the film and resented how Isaac was considering making a movie deal with another studio. This led to Quincy murdering Isaac, whose body was dumped in the mineshaft. So it was possible that this entity was the ghost of Isaac. However, skeptics believe that the ghost was actually a player using mods or an invisibility glitch. At the time, it was possible to turn invisible by having one player drive into a garage as they towed a vehicle that had another player in it. The invisible player would then be hidden on the minimap, which would explain why the ghost in this footage doesn't appear in the minimap. There was also apparently a settings option at the time that removed players' names on the screen. As for the music, things get a bit more interesting since the video was uploaded from an Xbox One. Xbox's now defunct video editor, Upload Studio, didn't include an official option to add music to clips, but there was an option to add voiceovers with a mic. So it was possible that the player was playing music through a speaker that was held to the mic, which would explain why parts of the music sound a little off. Furthermore, contrary to what people claimed, it was in fact possible to run while on fire. So it would seem as if the ghost was actually just a player, but one thing that's odd is the fire effect. When comparing the ghost video with this video of someone catching on fire, the fire effect is different. In the ghost video, the fire is bigger and brighter and completely engulfs the body. It also seems to last longer as well. The person who uploaded the ghost clip was an Xbox player named Owlmilk, who seems to have last played GTA 5 on Xbox One 11 months ago. I messaged them about the clip, but didn't hear back. If you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for notifications. If you have any gaming myths, mysteries, oddities, or Easter eggs, be sure to let me know. You can also check out my other YouTube channel and watch me live on Twitch. The links are in the video description. Now back to the show. In 1994, a 12-year-old named Rick Brewster made a DOS-based game called the Golden Flute IV, the Flute of Immortality. It was basically a poor man's version of Final Fantasy, complete with amateur Microsoft Paint art and stolen music and sound effects. The game was about retrieving a magic flute that was stolen, and it was inspired by Sierra Games, and based on a 1984 instructional book on how to write adventure games. Brewster created the RPG on an 8 MHz IBM clone computer called the Tandy 1000 TL2. The game took around 6 months to develop without internet, and upon completion, Brewster put the game on a single floppy disk and mailed it to his cousin on the East Coast. However, Brewster never heard back, and the game was eventually lost to time. Brewster moved on with his life and ended up creating Paint.net, a Microsoft Paint clone. This should have been the end of the story, but 25 years later, on December 23, 2019, a Twitch streamer named Macaw45 was playing a collection of random MS-DOS games. Then 5 hours into his stream, the unthinkable happened. Macaw loaded up Golden Flute IV, not knowing the history of the game or who made it.
Soundbuster stuff from various sources.
Okay, we're playing like a 12-year-old's game here. Alright, Rick Brewster, let's see what you got. Oh, f*** this. You have just seen, as you have just seen, there was a storm that made Tarak to come back from the dead as a zombie. Tarak went to the Woodlands Kingdom Castle and That is quite the icon for a thief. Fighter.
Stop the sticks!
Oh, shit. Use weapon. Sword. This is kind of cool. Look at this. Look at like total. Look at all the different enemy variety. There's lots of enemy variety.
Somehow he managed to get a copy of the incredibly obscure game that was lost for 2 decades. Brewster then found out about it the next day when he received 2 tweets asking if he created the Golden Flute IV. Brewster was flabbergasted that someone discovered his game, since it should have been impossible to find. Brewster surmises that his cousin uploaded the game to a bulletin board system, or BBS, which his cousin actively used. A BBS was basically a precursor to forums and social networking services where users could post messages and upload files. Brewster's cousin said that he remembered playing the game, but didn't remember if he uploaded it to a BBS. Whatever the case, the game ostensibly managed to make its way into a 1994 shareware compilation called Cream of the Crop 5. It then ended up in the Frostbite shareware collection on Internet Archive. According to Brewster, the collection contains hundreds of games that were purchased from an LA-based BBS owner. With Golden Flute IV finally found, there was just one question that remained. What about Golden Flute 1, 2, and 3? All of them do exist, with the first one being a text-adventure game. Meanwhile, Brewster said at the time that the second and third games, which he made when he was 10 or 11 years old, may be at his parents' house somewhere, and that he had to look for them. There's one Easter egg that has crept into various video games over the years. It's a red balloon, and while it looks ordinary, it signifies something sinister. In the horror movie It, which is based on Stephen King's 1986 novel, a red balloon indicates that a demonic clown named Pennywise is nearby. The clown, which lives in the sewers, murders children, and feeds on their fears. One of the most famous scenes in It involves a child named Georgie talking to Pennywise who's in a storm drain. The child, who's wearing a yellow raincoat, was playing with a paper boat that ended up going down the drain. When Georgie tries to get his boat back, Pennywise kills him. In Tom Clancy's The Division 2, a red balloon can be seen in the sewers. The balloon, along with the corpse, can also be seen in Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Balloon does fly away. Certain angles you shoot the balloon, it doesn't blow up. Oh, it just pops.
And in 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, a red balloon can be found in a storm drain. If you shoot it, blood will come out, and right next to the balloon is Georgie's paper boat and yellow jacket. There's also a skeleton of Pennywise's victim. In September 2019, there was a Fortnite It crossover event that was used to promote It Chapter 2. Red balloons could be seen near drains all over the map, and when you popped a balloon, Pennywise could be heard laughing. One of the more interesting balloon sightings can be found in Ion Fury. The only way to see the balloon is to no-clip through a fence in the sewer. Your character will then say, "I guess they really do float."
I guess they really do float.
That's a reference to Pennywise's famous line about how balloons and dead bodies float in the water.
All sorts of surprises down here. And balloons, too.
Do they float?
Oh, yes. They float. And when you're down here with me, you float too!
The line about floating can also be heard in The Suffering Ties That Bind, when the character that you play as hallucinates and sees his dead son running around in the sewers.
I feel sick. Daddy. I'm right here. I'm always here. Hurry up, Daddy. I'm right here. I'm always here. Y'all float down here.
Meanwhile, in Mafia 3, you can find a tricycle sitting in a pool of blood near a storm drain. The tricycle is identical to the one that a little girl rides in the 1990 It miniseries.
Climbed up the water spout.
One of the more elaborate It Easter eggs can be found in Far Cry 5. There's a mission where you can enter a barn that's been converted to a haunted house. Before entering it, you can briefly see a mysterious figure in the attic. Within the haunted house itself, animatronics will pop out to scare you, and if you make it to the end, you'll be able to enter the attic where the iconic red balloon can be seen. You'll also find organs in a bathtub, along with cameras pointed at a bed that has chains and blood. According to Far Cry 5's fandom page, the animatronics were made out of real humans, and the entire act was recorded. What's more, if you pick up the phone, you can hear Pennywise maniacally laughing. You can also read an odd, ominous note titled Clown Thoughts